It's only every 90 years. It's not like they do this every summer. So, you know what I mean? Is it that big a deal? I don't know. Anyway. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Stoli Doli Scaries.
I'm your host, John Ritchie Jr.
And I'm your host, Corinne. And today we'll be obviously watching Midsommar.
Let the festivities begin.
I really like that. I think that's one of my favorite taglines.
I mean,
yeah.
What a way to restart, rejuvenate, get back into summer.
Yeah.
You know?
We're at the tail end. I don't really think it's a horror movie. I actually think it's a beautiful story. There are some bumps along the way, but I don't know. I have a very different vantage point on it than when I saw it in the theaters, originally.
Here's how I dictate in my brain whether or not this is a horror movie is like, if this were happening to me, and we're going to talk about a lot of scenes, I would be terrified. And not just like I'm watching a slasher movie, like terrified, like I'm scared.
Like afraid for your life kind of thing?
We're going to talk about it, but
I think it's kind of beautiful what they got going on. I don't feel any judgment. I think I'm really open-minded about their customs, and I don't know. Pele is very charming.
You know what happens? You need to take a lot of drugs, mama.
And that as well. And I
there you
wasn't
have
on
it.
any drugs, and I felt the influence. And so that's why I say I really think they could be onto something. I don't think it's so bad.
We won't know until we go to Sweden.
That's true. Today's cocktail is going to be the May Queen. It's a lovely, fresh lavender lemonade with some gin in it and some flowers.
Gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
It's delightful. And we will be taking a sip anytime something shitty happens to Dani. So get ready. Get crunk.
So we're going to be drunk.
Within like the first 30 minutes. Okay.
Let's do it.
Midsommar was released July 3rd, 2019. This is the newest movie we've done. I'm usually like, I think 90s was like, or maybe 2003, maybe Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but this is very recent for us. Directed by Ari Aster, starring Florence Pugh, Jack Reiner, William Jackson Harper, Willem Blomgren, Alora Torchia, Archie Madquay, and Will Poulter. I should have edited the names, but they all seem important. So the movie starts out with our main gal, Dani. She receives an extremely worrisome email from her sister, to say the least. It just says, "I can't anymore. Everything's black. Mom and Dad are coming too. Goodbye." Very concerning. Very concerning. So she's trying to call
I'd say
them.
so.
To say the least. So she's trying to call them. She's emailing her back. She's not receiving anything. She's freaking out, rightfully so. So she calls her boyfriend, Christian, and we can already tell the vibes are off in this relationship. It just feels really strained. He sounds really like distant. She asks if he's going to come over, and he's like, "Did we have plans to?" I don't know. It's not good. I've been there a million times. I recognize it immediately.
Yeah, this is a classic dipshit smoking res with the boys. Like, who's smoking resin? They're definitely, in their 20s?
That means they're college.
They're in college. Yeah.
Bullshit frat boys, yeah.
You know what? Maybe I would be smoking res with the boys, but...
Yeah, I will say my hottest I have a lot of hot takes on this movie, but my big hot take is I don't think Christian is the villain. I know he's painted as like this horror. I think he's a bad boyfriend, but I think that's his biggest crime. Like, I don't think he's this horrible person. And when I went to see it at the cemetery, every time he came on the screen, everybody booed. It was 5,000 people booing. And I was like, I mean, he sucks. He sucks as a boyfriend, but like this, he has to take on a lot. But anyway, so she calls her boyfriend and he asks how the sister situation is going. And we find out that her sister Terry is actually bipolar. And these emails are kind of a regular occurrence. He chalks it up to her just wanting attention and that she puts you through this all the time and you let her and whatever. She's bipolar. I think that's a bit of dismissive, but okay. And rightfully, Dani points that out. She's like, well, she has a disorder. But he doubles down on it. He's like, no, you let her do this all the time. And then she backs off and she's like, you're right. Thank you for reminding me. I'm so lucky to have you. And it's just really uncomfortable because you can already see this dynamic and how she's like just clinging to this lifeline of this kind of shit boyfriend, and he's all she has.
I mean, again, like we said, he's smoking res. He's 20-something. He's lost in the world.
Yeah, this is
he's
a
really
really
not
heavy situation for a.
He doesn't have the tools.
Yes, absolutely.
For her.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's why I have a little bit of, and I'm a certified man hater, and I do have sympathy for his character. I'm just like, this is a lot for a 20-year-old. You don't have the tools to handle something of this magnitude. A bipolar sister who's sending threatening death emails about herself and the parent. I mean, this is like, and so I don't think he means to be dismissive. I think he's probably just heard it a lot, and he's trying to be there for her and, make her feel better about the situation. And, she's about to go off the deep end. So they hang up, and it cuts to the boyfriend Christian at the bar with his friends, Pele, Josh, and Mark. And just as we suspected, they're all kind of razzing him about when are you going to break up with her? Like, you've been wanting to do it. They're shitheads. And he is hesitant about it. He's like, well, what if I do it and then I regret it? I'm not sure. And like, he's not 100% on it.
He feels like it's almost like he's the victim because he's thrust into these different situations and he's trying, but it's not good enough. And so he's like blaming it on other people. And then because he's confiding in his friends are like, bro, why the fuck are you even talking with her? Like, why are you even doing this? We're gonna be like banging chicks this summer.
It's really just you want to talk about a villain? Mark is the villain to me in this entire movie. I think he is scum. I think he's deplorable. And even though the other guys kind of contribute, like, oh, think about all the Sweden women, whatever, but like not to the extent of Mark. Mark seems like really invested in him dumping Dani. Anyway, so as they're having this discussion, Dani calls Christian again, and he gets up from the table to answer it. And Dani, I don't know how to describe this noise. I'm going to put it right here. It's like a wailing. It's not a crying. It's like the sound of pain on the other side of the phone. This is the most disturbing scene of the entire movie for me. I had nightmares about this for weeks. They cut to Dani's house, and we get this kind of slow motion montage of firefighters going through her house. And first we see, the cars running in the garage. Then we see tubes hooked up to the exhaust pipes running through the house. They get to the parents' bedroom. The tube from the exhaust pipe is under the parents' bedroom door, and it's taped off. And then so they're goners. And then the camera angles are really incredible. Then the camera angle shifts to the sister who has it taped to her face. One of the most disturbing images. I'll never get that out of my face, seeing that for the first time. That was so unexpected. Yeah. So I don't want to say unnecessarily like crude, but I couldn't find any notes about why he chose such a extreme suicide measure. Like, why did it have to be that?
I mean, I don't know either. Is it an artistic vision? Is it something you thought about for Dani as a character, as a backstory, as a her entire arc throughout this movie is wild. So did it need to be something that was this dramatic? Potentially. Could it have been just like, I drove us off a cliff? I don't know what would have hit or like showed more pain more than what we got in her cry. And I also think like if you're bipolar, you're thinking the ruminations are probably, I wonder what I could do.
Yeah.
And this seemed to be like all the puzzle pieces were there. You just got to put them together.
All right. So anyway, yeah, it's sad, horrible, worst possible. Absolutely, a big pour one out for Dani. This is a big drink. This is drink half your drink. Sad. So he goes over that night to comfort her, and he's holding her as she's wailing, like sobbing, crying. I find myself really feeling for Christian throughout this entire movie. That's a big. It's a lot.
Now, here's the thing. Once you zoom in on them and he's holding her, and yes, she's crying it out. If this person were a boyfriend who was supportive and could console her, do you think he'd be there with his hood up like, well, I just gotta, like, this is what I'm supposed to do, but it's not that fun for me. This is what I'm
I
thinking
think
of.
that's the whole movie. I think I can't tell if he actually cares about her or he's trying to present as the caring boyfriend, and he cares about how this persona comes across, and like, does he actually care, or is it he's worried about how he's going to come across and he's playing this role or something? I don't know. Either way, it's nice. He went, he held her. I don't know. I don't know what you do. That's the most extreme fucking thing I can think of. I don't know how else he could have supported her other than holding her as she like sobbed in his arms.
As somebody who isn't a good, and I'll be honest, I don't think I'm a great nurturer when it comes to grief. The way I show up is like, you want to go get like your favorite food, you want to go shopping, you want to go on a trip, you want to get away.
Yeah.
I want the like uplifting
Yeah.
person who's like let's distract until we can believe, and like let it settle, let the dust settle.
Yes.
But if we stay in this, I'm not the person that's going to be like, yeah, let's look at all the old pictures and all the stuff.
Yeah.
I'm very much the let's get out of here, let's do something, let's distract. And I feel like if he were to show up for Dani, I think it would, if you're one, if step A is to just hold and she's still wailing, it's like a child.
Yeah.
They're still crying. What else are you going to do? Are you going to try something different? Maybe a cartoon. I don't know. Maybe get them smile. Get them I don't know. Try some different avenues.
A little glimpse. Maybe he did the, after a couple hours. We don't know. We'll never know. He tried. He's a 20-year-old,
Can you see him doing that?
We don't know what happened after the holding and the wailing. I imagine there was some of that, but he tries. He does what he can. He's a man. There's only so much they're capable of. So a few months later, she is still with Christian. They're still together. And she's, obviously leaning on him heavily. And you can feel it in, it makes me uncomfortable in a really specific way. Like she's taking a lot of naps. She's depressed. He comes in to be like, hey, are you awake? And they have a little chat. And he says, okay, I'm going to head out to, I'm just going to go to this party just for 45 minutes. I'll come. And inside I'm like, oh God, and I get it because she doesn't want to be alone. She doesn't want to be by herself. And
yeah,
we get it. So they're together. They go to this party together. And at the party, the friends are talking about how they're taking this trip to Sweden. And Dani's like, oh yeah? Know nothing about this? And Christian kind of is like, we're thinking about it. Yeah. I don't know. He is a gaslighter.
His intentions, his motivations are not good.
I didn't envision myself being Christian's champion, but here I come. Because here's the thing. Well, wait. I'll get into that in a second. But, okay. they have this they're having this conversation at the party. She finds out that basically he's going to Sweden and he never said anything to her.
2 weeks.
In 2 weeks, and never said boo. So she looks a little struck by it. And, they're in the Uber on the way home. She's not saying anything. They get to the apartment and she's kind of quiet. He, says, "Are you okay?" And she said, "Well, that was just really weird. Like, why? I had no idea you were going to Sweden in 2 weeks." And that kind of puts me in a weird position. And and he gets very defensive. He's like, "Well, I don't know what you're talking about because I told you I was thinking about going, or I thought it would be cool to go." And she's like, "That doesn't mean you were going." It's a very disconnected, it's sad. But as I stand up for Christian here, I say, when was the right time to tell her, "I'm going to Sweden on your birthday, the first birthday you've had without your parents"? When was the right time to tell her this?
I'm about to smoke a real cigarette in this apartment because of this conversation. This tells you right here. You're a Leo. I'm a Libra. This is what.
What was the right time to tell? When at the funeral, like when she was in depression, I'm supposed to say, hey, tap on your shoulder, "I'm going to Sweden for like a month."
Grow some balls and communicate what the fuck is happening in your brain.
I agree.
Good,
I
bad,
agree.
and ugly.
I agree.
I'm about to get ugly on this pod for the first time.
Well, but here's the thing. I understand maybe why he didn't bring it up earlier. But here's the thing. In this moment, he could have said, "Look, your whole family just died. Lot going on. I was waiting for the right time to bring up my Swedish vacation. There was no good time."
But he didn't.
He didn't.
That's a problem.
I agree. He didn't handle this whole conversation not good. Really not good. But I understand why he perhaps didn't bring it up prior to this evening, because how do you bring that up? This was a tricky one, and he handled this portion.
He didn't show up.
He handled this portion incorrectly. I can forgive him not telling her before, but the way he handles this conversation with her, making her feel like she's the bad guy, to the point where she actually ends up apologizing because he gets so defensive. He threatens to leave the apartment. She freaks out like, "Oh, no. Well, then I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you feel." It's so fucking sad. It is really, really sad. I'll give her another drink. This whole thing, this is embarrassing. It's sad. She didn't know.
I'm going to be wasted by the end of this.
Keep it together. We got a lot more Dani drinks to...
I'm going to be naked by the end of this.
Just as Ari Aster was. That's what it is. Why does he always want everyone naked? Always. He loves naked people.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah. It's something. So anyway, they have this conversation. He didn't tell her. He didn't handle it correctly. They have a little tete-a-tete. Then they cut to a scene at his apartment, which he shares with Pele, Josh, and Mark. And they got the books on the table. They're planning their trip. He says, "Hey guys, Dani's about to come up. Just a heads up, I invited her to Sweden." And they're kind of like, "What the fuck?" They're like, "Okay." I think it's a little fucked that he didn't ask for Pele's permission. That's his festival. I was very bothered by that. So inconsiderate, so rude, whatever. Dani comes up and they're all like, it's still like mid fake smile, like don't really know what to do. She comes in and, they're like, "Oh, so you're coming?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm really excited." Whatever. It's really weird. So Christian and Mark leave the room, and then it's Pele and Dani. And I ship Pele and Dani. I'm a big fan of this. Do you disagree? There's vibing. There's something happening.
I'm not shipping anything yet because I am dubious of all of these motherfuckers.
I'm dubious of the other motherfuckers. But Pele has a genuine kindness about him that...
I think it's sus. I think it's sus as fuck.
I don't think so. I think
Get your Jesus hair out of here. Why don't you draw me a picture of the fucking table?
He's the only one that... So it's just Pele and Dani at one point. They're chatting about the trip. And we're kind of getting more of an idea of what the festival is. He says community does this 9-day festival every 90 years. It's a really big deal. It's a lot of pageantry. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then he tells her, I'm genuinely happy that you're coming. Like I was really happy to hear about that 5 seconds ago. That's crazy. But like you can tell he's genuine when he says that. Like, I'm really happy that you're coming. And I think he has a way of making her feel welcome and included and accepted. Anyway.
And I agree for right now that he is meant for the viewers to see him as such. And I feel like because I know what I know,
what I know too, and I still stand by this.
That's crazy.
You're not gonna like any of my takes.
I'm so glad that we have different points of view because this is perfect.
Very different.
We're gonna get in an argument today.
Yeah, that's okay. I think the vibes are vibing.
Totally fine.
There's a chemistry here.
In the beginning, he is the only one that seemingly cares about her, and this is the difference between her own boyfriend of 4 years who doesn't give a shit. He does not love her. He does not care about her. He's trying to manage a relationship, and he's not managing it.
I agree. I totally agree. So as they're sitting there, he says, I never got a chance to tell you how sorry I was to hear about your family. And it's like, ding dong, the lights go out in Dani's eye. Like, it's clearly a trigger. She obviously. And she gets up to be like, it's fine, it's okay. She leaves the room to go hyperventilate in the bathroom. And we get a really cool shot of her going into the bathroom, and then it transports her to the airplane bathroom where she's hyperventilating there.
She got there.
She made it. They didn't bring up. She made it. She's going to Sweden, baby. So she's hyperventilating in the bathroom. She's not having a good time. Things are off to a little bit of a rocky start here, but they get there. They get off the plane. They drive to an area right outside the commune. It's like this beautiful, picturesque hill. Pele greets his family and friends that are there. He introduces all of them to his family. And then specifically, he introduces them to his brother Ingar. So Ingar brought some friends from the UK, Connie and Simon, and they're also going to be attending the festival. And then it's drug time. Drugs. So Ingar passes out mushrooms to everyone. They're all going to take a little trip. And Dani says, look, I'm going to hold off. I want to settle in. This is nice of Christian. I think this is maybe one of the really few times where he actually is a good boyfriend. And she says, look, I'm going to hold off. And he says, well, then I'm going to hold off too. And she's like, no, it's okay. And he's insistent. He's like, no, I want to do this with you. I'm not going to do that.
I think that he shows to the camera and to the viewers actions that are like, yes, I should do this. And like, I need to appear this way. But I don't think he's doing it for her because he doesn't care about her.
I think he does care about her. I think maybe I've just been doing toxic relationships.
Clock it.
This is a self-discovery.
Let's talk about them.
Yeah. Too many. Yeah, but I don't know. I like to see the good and the bad, but whatever. So he says, no, I'm going to wait for you. And so they tell the group, like, look, you guys go ahead. We're going to wait. And fuckhead Mark says, well, then we're all going to be coming up at different times. It's going to ruin everything for everybody. And he's like, well, do you want to wait for us? And they just stare at him. I fucking hate this guy. I hate him. So they do it. They do the drugs. They get peer pressure. Dani feels like, take a sip. Dani feels pressured. She doesn't want to let everyone down. She doesn't want to be the outlier. So she takes the shrooms. It's fucked.
And we're drinking because things keep happening to Dani.
Yes. Drink's going to be gone in a moment. Okay.
Duh.
So they all take the mushrooms. And the next scene, they're sitting on like a little mountainside, looking at the sun. They're all freaking out in different levels. And I didn't notice this until maybe the third time I watched it, but Dani is fine. I mean, she's tripping, but she's fine. Like, she sees, the grass coming out of her hands, the trees are breathing, everything's okay. And then as soon as Mark says, you guys are like my family, something like triggers in her mind immediately, and then she's not okay. And then she starts hyperventilating because she is reminded of her family. And so she has a bad trip. She starts to freak out and she gets up and she's like, I need to go for a walk. Like, I need to get out of here. And it's nice. Christian says, I can walk too. And she's like, no, I want you to come on a walk with me. So she goes off on her own little adventure. She's, well, it's not an adventure. She's hyperventilating, but she walks away and she ends up in, there's like a little hut, like a little bathroom without electricity. And there's like a match. I don't know where she finds this match, but she lights a match in this bathroom. And of course, there's a jump scare of her sister with the mask or the tube attached to her face. Pour one out for Dani. That's horrible.
A little scary.
Yeah.
A little scary.
Anyway, she's not having a good trip. That happens. She freaks out. She runs out of the bathroom. She's running through the woods. We get a black screen. And then the next scene is her waking up. This pisses me off. So she wakes up and she's woken up by Christian. And they're all kind of sitting around her, acting as though she's been holding them up. They're all kind of like looking at her. And she's like, how long was I asleep? Or like, how long was I out? And he says, well, we found you here 6 hours ago. And she's like, well, did it get dark? She's very disoriented. And I was just so bothered by their reaction because, first of all, she ran away. Nobody followed her, even though he offered. Nobody followed her. She ran into the woods and they found her and they're making her she's the victim and they're making her seem like she's the bad guy. Like how dare she hold them up? It's fucked. Whatever. So,
and now we're on Dani's side.
I am always on Dani's side. I'm not on the Christian's a villain train. I'm not booing him in the cemetery. I think he's a 20-year-old punk who has been plated a very difficult task to handle this level of trauma with somebody that he was going to break up with. That sucks. I don't know. Look, I'm seeing it for what it is. Horrible for Dani. Much more horrible for Dani. But that's not an easy... That's not easy. It's not easy.
Yeah.
You disagree?
I'm just gonna sigh on that one.
Different takes. That's fine. So they seem annoyed by her. That's annoying. They make their journey to the Harga community. They walk through the woods and they come to a big clearing, this like gorgeous starburst sculpture. They walk through it. People are playing flutes. It's exactly what I imagined it would be. It's like this little community, like all these like little wooden barns and people in like white peasant dresses and everybody's pretty. Yeah.
Yeah. You're one of them.
Thank you. I tried really hard. My flower's not big enough. Their flower crowns are outrageously big. So
they had a bigger budget.
Yeah, Amazon couldn't handle.
They had a $9 million budget,
which is honestly very small. I would have thought it would have been much bigger.
They couldn't shoot in Sweden because of labor laws. You can probably only work a certain amount of time, and they were doing like longer shoot days, I'm imagining. And so they shot it in Hungary near Budapest. And I imagine that the $9 million budget had to go to creating this town out of thin air in the middle of nowhere. But I did hear that Ari hired Swedish people and flew them in from Sweden to be the townspeople because he wanted it to be more authentic.
Well, that makes sense. They did feel felt very real. It felt very real. So they get there. Pele introduces everyone to his friends. They're all, doing the weird communique thing with the heart, and they're looking into each other's eyes. It's special. It's cool. It's different. Now is a good time to mention, because I haven't. Josh, one of the people on the trip, he's doing his college thesis on this community. Well, he's doing it on Midsommar activities throughout Europe, but specifically, this is a big part of his thesis. So he's going to be annoying. He's going to be asking a lot of questions. He's going to be very fucking rude. He really pisses me off. He's very disrespectful, in my opinion. Not the worst of the group, but I don't know.
Second to worst.
They're all so bad. So I think Mark is the worst. I think Josh is, and then I think Christian. I don't think Christian's But he's not good. They're all bad. But like Josh has like an elitist energy to him that bothers me. He's just very like tone deaf when it comes to this. For example, in a moment, so they're about to do the opening ceremony, and he asks if he can take pictures, and it's just like, why would what? Like I just don't know in what realm you would think that's okay. Like this is obviously like a I don't know.
He's an American who's trying to do a documentary in his brain as much as possible, and he's wanting all of the details. He's creating something big, and so there's a part of me that can understand it. But yes, he is disrespectful. He doesn't get it. He doesn't see himself.
Not
Christian doesn't see himself. Mark doesn't see a fucking speck in the world. Like he's a dumb dumb.
Yeah.
They're meant to be this way.
They are. And I think that's why I'm not sad to see any of them, spoiler alert, go. I'm like, well, if you hadn't been so disrespectful, you know what I mean? No. So anyway, so I bring it up because that's going to be a very important plot factor in the future. But just a heads up. So Josh is going to be asking a lot of questions, being annoying. So they all gather to the main stage. The welcome ceremony happens. It's fun. It's festive. There's noises. They cut to a young redhead braiding her hair in the mirror. And she's like psyching herself up. Like, oh, she's like making noises. Like she's going to do something. She comes out of the bathroom and she sees the group of friends sitting on the grass watching the festivities. And she zeroes in on Christian. Just keep that in your back pocket. Something's brewing here, but this is important for later. They cut back to the group on the grass. They're watching everyone partake in the festivities. Christian and Josh get up to go join the fun, leaving Pele and Dani, our little couple, alone. And this is when Pele gives Dani a picture that he drew of her for her birthday, which is today. It's sweet. It's kind. She's touched. He's giving her the eyes. There's some chemistry here. And this is when we find out that Christian actually forgot her birthday. And he's like, he's like, oh, I didn't know. And she's like, no, it's my fault. I forgot to remind him. I will say, not to defend him again, but it's the time change. There's no night. It's like it's not like you just forgot it out of the blue. Like it's a very confusing thing here. But whatever. So he hasn't wished her happy birthday. He hasn't wished her happy birthday. He doesn't realize what day it is. Whatever.
He just did drugs.
Drugs.
I'm gonna switch now to Team Christian.
Good. Thank you. I was getting lonely over here. So Christian forgot her birthday. She kind of like is like, oh, it's not a big deal. She acts like she's not bothered. Not so. So that happens. He gives her the pretty picture. That's nice. So the group is walking around the grounds, checking things out. That's when they point out the yellow temple in the distance. And Pele's a little bit dismissive here. He's like, oh, that's a sacred temple. Nobody goes in there. A little weird, but nobody presses them on it. They're just like, okay. Pele and Mark and the people from New York, they all go to check out the cabins where they'll be sleeping, and then Ingar, Connie, and Simon go separately to a different area. They pass a bear in a cage. In what world would a bear not be able to break out of a wooden cage? That thing is like a kennel.
Shit's weird.
Well, it's also really sad. Have they tranquilized him? I don't know. It made me very, very sad. More sad.
You think they have tranks?
Died. Honestly, I think
they probably drugged the damn bear. Yeah, they got enough drugs to.
But they pass a bear. Simon's like, "Are we going to talk about the bear?" And he's, Ingmar's really dismissive. He's like, "Whatever, it's a bear." They pass by this tapestry, this illustration, and it literally illustrates everything this redhead is about to do to Christian. It's like things that I didn't even notice. The pubic hair is obviously very noticeable. The pubic hair.
Now you're developing Christian speak too. This redhead. It's like her name's Maya.
I don't.
Do we ever know her
Do
name?
we?
She's iconic.
What's the name?
Maya.
Maya. Okay. So
Maja. Maya.
Maya. We passed by an illustration of what Maya is about to do to Christian. She's about to cut off her pubic hair. She's about to menstruate in his drink. She's about to do all these things like a little love spell on him. But if you haven't seen it before, you don't know what the fuck what this is. It's very weird. It's only like after you've seen it that you can make the connection of what's about to happen. But interesting choice.
I mean, you can deduce that this is what's going to happen. The tapestries all along have been telling us the story.
Yes, but I think it's only in hindsight that you understand the significance of the tapestry. And you just think it's like, ooh. I didn't even know
No.
the beginning tapestry was the whole story until I looked up
W-
trivia notes. And I've seen this movie now a good like 4 or 5 times. And I was like, oh,
Okay, so you're drinking every time you're watching this.
not that much.
Yeah.
Honestly, not enough to miss all this stuff. I had like a beer. Anytime I've watched it, I like literally had a beer at the Alamo. I wasn't getting crunk watching Midsommar, and I still missed all of these little things. So I don't know. Yeah. So they pass the bear. They recognize it. They pass the tapestry. Um, they enter the communal sleep area. It's like this big, beautiful barn with these like gorgeous drawings. A little weird. It's a bunch of twin beds next to each other, like a rustic
Like a
orphanage.
hostel.
It's very interesting. Yeah, very
An
very
orphanage, a
interesting.
hostel.
And so within this barn, there's all these pictures of the past May Queens. And as Danny's looking at this, we see Pele and Christian having like a little hush hush conversation to the side. And then all of a sudden, Christian pulls Dani outside and he's got a little cake for her with a candle, which means that he was prepared for this. He brought something. He just had his days mixed up. And he pulls her outside with the cake and the candle, and he starts, she's trying to light the candle and he'd sing her happy birthday. It's a very awkward thing. He can't light the candle, and he says, "Oh, we didn't think I forgot." She's like, "Yeah, you did." It's a very uncomfortable thing, but I will say this: I feel like this is significant because this is one of the first moments I've seen Dani push back on him. Like, it's fine. I should be mad, but I'm not mad. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying right now.
Exactly. You know what I wrote? I said, find you a man who can light you a goddamn birthday candle. And let alone remember your fucking birthday.
That's fair.
How about
Fair.
that?
Look,
Maybe this
the
is my
Swedish
trauma.
time zones, bro. Like they were on drugs. Give them a break. Nobody's perfect. He had the cake. He had the candle, couldn't light it. He tried. She's very it's awkward. This whole thing is really awkward. And
Beautifully shot with the people in the background.
beautifully shot. Great, but it's an uncomfortable moment.
For Dani.
For Dani, yeah. Sad. Oops. Well, influencer.
We're doing cut waters for Dani.
So cut to the next day. They're all prepping for the big ceremony. They're all talking about this big ceremony. We don't know what's going to happen. So they're all about to sit down for a meal before the ceremony. And around them, little traditions are going on, like little games and little things. We see these girls picking flowers, walking backwards. And fuckwad Mark was like, somebody should tell those girls they're walking funny. This entire movie, I just wanted him to die. He was so disrespectful. Hook. Like, what the fuck? It's just such a stupid, like.
He's a jester.
But he's not funny.
He's a clown.
Man. He's not funny. I feel like gestures are like they're silly. They're funny. They actually land the joke.
Can we now talk about the Wizard of Oz of it all?
Is there Wizard of Ozzy of it all?
Oh, there's references, Mama.
Yeah, hit me.
I think Ari Aster took a lot of references, one being the Wizard of Oz, and that Dani is reminiscent of Dorothy, and then you have the Three Stooges, nonetheless, of one needing a brain, one needing courage, one needing a heart.
Wow, that makes a lot of sense. That's
might make you
really
think
interesting.
differently about some
Yeah.
things, but yeah, I think it's referenced in a lot of different ways. I think it is just well done. But yeah, mull that over.
That's really interesting. I'm gonna pick at that later on when I get to my notes about like why everything has happened and why Pelly did what he did and all the things. That makes a lot of sense. Um,
Yeah.
interesting. Okay.
I'm going to talk about, well, since I didn't talk about it earlier, there is also a lot to do with the number 9.
Well, I know 9 Day Festival.
9-day festival, 90 years for the
That's true.
sacrifices.
Okay.
They also like all of the ages that they're supposed to be in are divisible by 9.
Oh,
Like they don't leave the beds until like
right.
they're
36.
36 and
Yeah.
then ooh, at
I really enjoy
72
that
like it's
timeline.
toast.
The what is it? Because it's is it 18 to 36 that they're in that like little room, and then it's 36
Yeah.
to 50 something that they're the laborers, and then it's like,
Mhm.
hmm yeah, it all makes
Yeah.
sense. I like that. I want to be
Mhm.
part of this community. I don't think there's anything wrong with what's going down here. I think we're all just a little closed minded.
Let's talk about it. Communal beds? Can we talk about it? Methinks not. Babies crying while I'm
The
on
baby's crying.
vacation?
Yeah, I agree. The baby's crying thing is fucking nuts. Yeah, that would be an
While
issue.
I'm on vacation? I'm not well, bitch.
I don't think they were well informed of what this trip was going to be. I think they were expecting Coachella and they got something real different. I think they got something real different. And so writing's on the wall. And I don't
Writing is on the wall.
literally, I don't think they have any idea. Anyway, we get through this. I'm almost
We
there.
get to dinner.
Yes. So they're about to sit down for the meal, the meal before the ceremony. They're all standing at the table when two older people enter from the direction of the temple. And they're walking slowly up to the table. It's an elder man and a woman. It's clear they're significant. It's clear they're being honored because once they get to the chairs, once they sit down, then everybody else sits down. Once they eat their food, everybody else eats their food. So it's clear that they're the honorees, the guests. Suddenly, the two elder honorees stand up and they start making noises that I don't even know how to describe. I'm going to insert them right here. They're it almost sounds like a record being played backwards. It's like very unnatural noises to me.
It sounds like they're breathing in reverse.
It's something yeah, like it's something that you like your mouth couldn't make the noise.
It's like when you're pregnant and you're doing the
Lamaze, your Lamaze breathing. Yeah.
hee haw.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hee
Oh,
haw
they're
and it's a
hee
seesaw.
they're hee hawing and they're making a lot of noises. Everyone's just watching it. I don't know, it gives me the willies. But once they're done, every once they're
Gives me
done,
the willies.
everybody stands up. They all take a shot. I love that. Then
Of course.
where we're now, and then they sit back in their chairs and they're picked up by the community. Like they're picked up by a few people and they're carried off, and everyone follows after them. We're all headed to a cliff. Now, the whole community is standing below the cliff while the two elders are up on top of the cliff. And
Man, they really flew up that mountain, didn't they?
quick, quick, really quick.
Quick.
So they're looking up to the cliff, on top of this cliff. Both elders are up there. Their hands have been cut. They smear their blood on this rock that has this carved symbol on it.
Which was behind Dani's bed when she woke up. She saw it on the wall.
Oh, I missed that. Good.
The bloody
Good
hands.
note. Good note. We've seen it before, apparently. So they put their blood on the stone. The woman goes to the edge of the cliff. The way this is shot is really incredible. Just the sound level. So we're getting this very suspenseful music. We don't know. We're not sure what's, but we kind of have a good idea what's about to happen. We don't know what's going to happen. We have this suspenseful music, and then they cut to Dani, and it goes quiet. and we just hear her gasp and like grab Christian, and they cut back to the woman, and she's plop, and she straight nosedives into this rock at the bottom. The noise, he is really good about noise. That's a really strange thing to say, but you know what I mean. Like the noise is so disturbing. The silence, just the hit. It's very interesting to witness.
Listen, she went up there. She said, "I'm gonna do the swan." She said to the sky, "I'm doing the swan dive." And you know what? I like the form. It's a little bit clunky on the way down, but she sticks the landing.
She does, and somebody else doesn't stick the landing, and so it makes her landing seem the ricochet, the close up on the smashed skull. Nobody loves a smashed skull more than Ari Aster. Just like so shocking, can't unsee it. So that happens, and we're kind of hearing everything through Dani's ears, and so it's muffled, it's underwater, she doesn't even know what the fuck's happening. All we really hear is Simon and Connie, and specifically Simon, absolutely freaking out, yelling, "What the fuck?" making a big ruckus, and it's just very out of place. Very out of place, in my opinion. That is not how I would react. I would be shocked and I would be silent. I just think it's really disrespectful to react that way, because everybody around them, this is clearly an extremely
You know what I'm gathering right now?
What's that?
You were in Catholicism a little bit longer than me.
No, it's not that Catholicism. I'm an extremely open-minded person. I'm an extremely open-minded person. Extremely. And I recognize that there are all different types of cultures, and they have all different types of traditions that I couldn't even comprehend. And I bet our traditions seem silly, just like Christian points out later when he mentions the nursing home. He's right. We have very weird customs, but because we're Americans and we think, well, everything we do is amazing, we don't think anything we do is weird. But what we do is pretty weird. And so I'm not judgmental. Look, here's the thing. What I don't understand is why I think it's too violent. I don't think there's anything wrong with dying at 72. I don't want to get old either. I want to die when I'm still able to poop by myself and not need help. And so I don't think there's any shame in the death thing. It's just like, why must they fall on a rock and bust their head open? I think that's the part I have issue with.
They're trying to do theater. They're trying to make a statement, make a point, follow the law. You can clearly see from their faces they're not happy. They were not happy at dinner. They're not excited about doing this.
We don't know that. We don't know how they emote. We don't know how they emote.
And also say Sieve's name. How about that? Sieve, the main girly pop who's orchestrating all this thing, who says to Connie later when she's overreacting, "You don't understand. This is the joy of life. They're happy to do this." Are you fucked?
Maybe
bitch?
They are.
No.
We don't know how they emote. Maybe they just don't.
No.
Maybe they just don't emote the way that we emote. Maybe they were actually internally really joyous about what was about to happen. Why would they do it? When they were making those noises, they didn't seem upset. It seemed
Look
like
at her face. Go back to that bitch's face with her straw ass hair frizzled out.
Swan. They seemed happy. I'm just saying, I think
yeah, he looks real happy.
Simon's reaction was extremely disrespectful and unwarranted and really out of pocket. Really out of pocket. Is that how you would have reacted? I don't think so. What the fuck? What the fuck? This is fucked. Just
okay, here's the thing.
Grow up.
Here's the thing. I do know my audience, so I wouldn't have made a big deal if nobody around me was just standing there like, yeah. I would have slowly backed away and then promptly fucking ran to the woods.
Well, but here's the thing. Just because this thing happened, no.
I would have been like, no, I think I'm good here.
Well, I will say, okay. So
You would have been like, let me see what's happening. Let me see.
I want to assess these. I want to assess the situation. Maybe look, nobody was murdered. They fell to their death, and it's clearly like a ceremonial thing, tradition. It's not like I thought their reactions were really unwarranted. So
Yeah, say it again. We need more
So
content on this.
back into
It's
the
one of the
rock.
biggest moments of the film.
And as Simon is still freaking out, the man goes to do the same thing, but he doesn't do the belly flop. He goes feet first, which is fucking crazy. It's a crazy move. It's not a pool. That is a crazy thing to do. For all the time he must have had to think about this moment, that was a really weird choice. I don't want to speak ill of the dead, but that was a really weird choice.
I said, homeboy goes with a pencil dive.
I haven't heard a pencil dive in so long.
Straight down. A pencil
That was the only
dive.
thing she ever did. Yeah, really weird choice, and it does not pay off because he falls, and he's alive. He breaks his leg horribly out of his
Kneecap
sock.
up
I mean,
to
he's just broken in half like a doll, and he's wailing in pain. Here's where I don't agree with this decision. I will say that. So he's wailing out in pain. A man with a mallet comes up and like, wah, and then smashes his head. And then two other people behind him take turns smashing the head.
Well, we got to make sure.
So the people kill themselves, and everybody's torn apart by it. Everyone's freaking out about it. So Connie and Simon make a big old ruckus, and they storm off. And the leader, who you know her name, you know what's the leader's name?
Sieve.
Catches up after them and says, look, let me explain. I know this seems weird, but this is a long practiced custom. It seems odd, but this is the great joy of their life. And when this happens to me, it'll be a great joy for me. It's a cycle. Like the woman that died, the baby that's about to be born is going to be named after her, and it's a cycle, and it's just like this. It's their customs. It seems weird, but she's trying to explain that it's not like this evil thing that they're obviously making it out to be. It's small-minded freaks. So that happens. They don't storm off anymore. We don't really know what happens. They get explained that, and then we kind of cut to everybody leaving the ceremony. Dani's freaked out. Dani's super freaked out. She's triggered majorly. Obviously. Sips for Dani. She's triggered. So she says to Christian, look, I need to go take a walk by myself. I need to pull myself together. She goes off and hyperventilates and cries in the corner of the grass. And so while that happens, Christian goes. Really interesting timing here. I will say that. So Christian goes and finds Josh, who's, in the barn tapping away on his laptop. And he informs him that he has decided that he is also going to do his thesis on is it Harga community. That he's also going to do his thesis on the same thing that Josh is doing his thesis on. And at first he thinks he's kidding. And Josh is like, no, I'm serious. I've thought a lot about it. And yeah, I'm going to do it. I think this is the most weaselly thing that Christian does throughout the movie. I thought this was fucking outrageous. I had somebody do this to me in college. So maybe I was a little triggered by it, but somebody did this exact thing to me in college, and I just think it's fucked.
They stole your idea?
Yes.
Bitch. Call her out. What's her name?
Bitch. I don't even remember. She was that unimportant to me. But
Was she a redhead?
No, she was a blonde cunt.
It would explain Maya.
Indeed, the connection of it all. But all that to say, this was really, this is a really good insight. I think this is our biggest insight into Christian as a person, and just how thoughtless, how selfish, how much of a shit he really is. And so now I've turned on him. Now I'm not with Christian, where I was pissed about this. I don't know if I remembered this part.
Blatant.
Yeah, it's fucked. So he tells Josh, he's doing his thesis on the same thing as him, and if he wants to collaborate, they could do it together. If not, oh well, but he's set on doing it. Josh is livid. Josh is because he's been working on this for months. Like he's been really serious about this. This is a
He's
passion.
been talking
And, yes,
about
he's been
it
talking about
since the beginning of the
too
film.
much.
At
But,
least 6 months.
Yes. So regardless, he informs him of this. It's fucked up. Josh is pissed. They have a little tete-a-tete. Meanwhile, Pele finds Dani in the barn. She's packing up her stuff. She's getting the hell out of Dodge. It's too much for her. She can handle it. She doesn't know why she's there. She's very upset. She is crying. He's trying to console her. He's trying to convince her to stay. He says, look, I really wanted to share this once in a lifetime thing with my friends, but specifically I wanted to share it with you. And we kind of get a little bit of his backstory. He tried to tell her earlier, but she, was too upset. But apparently his parents died in a fire, and he was, orphaned as a young child. And we don't know how he found this community, but he found this community. And they really took him in. They were his family. I like the wording used here. He says that that they saved him, and that he's always felt held by them. He's always had this support. And he tells her that she deserves that too. And he takes her hand, and she's like, Pele, Christian could walk in at any moment. And he's like, well, that's what I want to talk to you about. I like Christian a lot, but does he feel like home to you? Do you feel held by him? And I think that's a really good point, because she doesn't. And I think Pele has good intentions. I think he's trying to help her, bring her into the
I'm listening.
Bring her into this community, into this family. I think he has good intentions. I'm with Pele. I stand with Pele. And he's trying to make her see reason that Christian isn't the guy for her. He's the guy for her. They're meant to be. And so she doesn't answer the question. She doesn't say, yeah. She just kind of sits there and thinks.
When he says, does it feel like home to you? The manipulation from Pele now, from Christian, feels like what Pele's doing.
Huh. Okay.
Different point of view, huh?
Yes. Big time.
This is the way that I felt in the conversation.
Yeah.
Is Pele appears to be what the viewers seem to think is the voice of reason, is the consoling one. Yes. And now we're getting a different point of view where we're shifting perspective on are we okay with letting this happen? I don't think I'm there, and I'm dubious of things that are happening.
I understand that. I can understand. I do think he is setting the groundwork to have her come into the fold. It's not a selfless thing he's doing right now by saying this to her. He's not just looking out for his friend. I think there is a motive. But I think because I'm okay with the motive, I don't see it as a problem.
You're signed up.
I think
you're
she
signed
should
up
be in the community. I think she belongs there. So I personally don't see issue with it, even though that was most likely his motive. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I have a problem.
It's a tough line to walk, I think, because I feel differently.
Yeah.
I don't know if she should be there. I don't know. Maybe I'm too small-minded. Who knows? Perhaps. We shift then to the bodies who are newly deceased, being turned into ashes, and Dani sitting by herself, seemingly collecting her thoughts. Christian checks in on her and says, that was tough. And she's concerned he wasn't disturbed by what they just saw. So she's given it to him a little bit. He tells her it was shocking, but that he's trying to keep an open mind. I hear you. Thumbs up. He's chalking it up to the culture and tells her that we stick our elders in nursing homes. I'm sure they find that disturbing. Listen, I don't have an argument here. He thinks they should try to acclimate to the position that they are in. But I think it's jarring when you have something that just happened to them happen. So I agree, but I also strongly disagree.
Sure.
Dani asks Josh for a sleeping pill to help her sleep because it's time for bed. And in the middle of the night, she wakes up to find the boys driving away in a car, abandoning her, and she yells for them to wait. There are flashes of the deaths she witnessed at the cliff and images of her family in the same setting. So it's like, it's you see exactly what's happening in Dani's brain.
Yeah.
Her subconscious mind is grouping these traumatic experiences while she sleeps. Maya, on the other hand, is holding her rune that she whittled away at. She's sitting up in bed. She makes the decision to go over to Christian's bed and place it underneath. Josh witnesses this being done. The next day, the ancestors' ashes are collected and placed at the base of a dead tree by the roots. Pele works on clipping his little bushes. And Josh and Mark approach him. Pele tells Josh he can do his thesis, but can't use any names. Pele says that he has to split it with Christian, the thesis, because he came to him first. Which, now I feel like the morals are starting to
Well, but that's
decompose.
what's interesting. I thought that was really confusing because I was like, but did he? Because it's from the very beginning of time, Josh has been doing this thesis. And so.
And now I feel like, now here's where I'm saying I feel like the manipulation shifts onto Pele because now it's what's in it for him. That he was the oracle this whole time, that he was the one manipulating everything for it to go his way. And I'm gonna give you pinpoints later.
Yeah.
Anyway, he has to split the thesis with Christian because he came up with it first. Blah blah blah. So Josh, in the middle of the night, sees what's happening. He collects the rune and then goes to Pele and says, like, what is this all about? And Pele says, like, oh, this is a love spell. This is a love rune. It casts a love spell. Christian comes walking up. He hears the great news that they can work on this thing together. But he also mentions that Maya seems to have taken a liking to him, to Christian. The redhead.
Yeah. If
you didn't remember from before. And he says, actually, she just got bemindig.
This is weird. I will admit this is
last
one
year.
Little poop point for Pele. This is weird. This is weird.
Which basically means you are allowed to have sex. Pants license.
Which she's like 14. She's like 14 or 15. She's very young. And this is strange. This is strange.
Okay. The next boyfriend that I'm going to have, they're going to have to earn this card. You're going to have to get the Bemintig card. The pants license of it all. This is crazy.
I wonder how you get it. Was it just like an age thing, you know?
I don't know.
No, we never know.
But Maya seems to have a liking to him. Yes. And she's allowed to have sex now. It's her pants license, so to speak. So Ulf, that's his name, one of the townspeople starts shouting from behind the... Oh, we didn't get a true glimpse that Mark was just like in the conversation. Then he was just like, I got to take a leak.
Yeah. So
he goes over and takes a piss on the dead tree. And Ulf, one of the townspeople, starts shouting from behind them, running towards Mark. Get away from there. Like, what are you doing, you fucking idiot? Like, get away. Put your disgusting dick away. You're pissing on my people. It's a whole scene. Pele, in the middle of it, tries to, like, smooth the tension, but he's like, your little fucking American friend pissed on
our sacred tree.
Yeah. Mark doesn't understand that it is an ancestral tree. And Ulf is like sobbing in the background.
He is not even remotely on the realm of as apologetic as he should be here. This like blew my mind. Even if you don't understand it, you can see like how upset they are. And he's just like, "Well, man, I had to take a piss." Oh.
If he only had a brain, he's the jester. He's the one that like he's 12. Yeah. When the others are 18, he's 12. It feels perfect for him, and also he plays it well.
Yeah.
And he doesn't understand. I just had to pee. I didn't know it was special. Like simultaneously, Connie is seen quickly moving to get her things from the barn, because we all know that they went through this fucking at the
Can't handle
I
it.
don't even remember how to say it again. At the stupa, and she seems a little panicked, and that time is of the essence. So she runs into Dani in the barn and tells her that it was really nice to meet her, but her and Simon are leaving. So it seems like a joint decision. He's getting the truck with one of them now. Father Odd, which is another character who we meet in the beginning, he comes over to the barn to let Connie know that Jan told me to tell you that he drove Simon to the train station, and after Simon gets dropped off, he's sending the truck back for you. What? She's confused. I'm confused. They're confused. Like, why would he just go without her? And that's what she says.
Yeah. It goes against
He
everything
wouldn't do that.
Yeah, that character would never do that. He was clearly obsessed with her, and that wouldn't happen. That wouldn't happen.
The conversation, though, between Odd is odd, because he is like, well, the truck only had room for two, so...
She's like, well, I could have sat on his lap. He could have talked to me about it. This is just in the crazy thing that we jump from here to there. It makes no sense.
If I were Connie, I would be pissed off. It seems like she is, but not to the point that I would be.
I don't think she believes it. I think she thinks something sinister is going on, and she doesn't actually believe that he left.
Well, she's going to investigate.
Yeah.
She's going to investigate, but she's pissed, clearly, because this is the answer that she is being given. And then he looks at Dani and just says, lunch in a bit. Christian decides he wants to know how roles and jobs are assigned by talking with one member of the commune. Dani intrudes. She comes up to him and says, you know, she's always saying sorry. She's like, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but like, Simon left without Connie. And he's like, really? Like, what a dick move. He's like, that sucks. Like, she's clearly looking for him to work with her in a figuring out a solution. And it's very clear in the acting because it's so superb.
It is.
Like, he diverts his attention back to the guy, and he's like, so if we're talking about couples, is there ever an issue with incest?
Look, okay.
This is the time where she finally realizes, like, what a piece of shit he actually is.
I do agree. I think you can see the realization in her eyes that they are not on the
and
same
drink
page.
for Dani.
Yeah, they're not on the same page. They're not well suited.
He's trying to learn about his new thesis. I'm sorry. And she's like,
well, but he's in the middle of interviewing somebody for his thesis, and she comes over to basically gossip. Hey, like, did you hear about... I mean, I know that's not what happened. But I'm just saying, I'm playing devil's advocate, okay? I'm my mother's daughter, and I'm just saying, like, if you think about it, you know, like, she comes up to interrupt the interview he's doing to say, did you hear that Simon left without Connie? I mean, just think about it in those realms. You know what I mean? Like, just think, just...
This is insane. I love and hear and accept you, but this is insane.
Look, I'm just saying, let's look at both sides of the coin. I think we have such a soft spot for Dani because of the horrific thing that happened to her. But I'm saying, like, let's just think for a second. He's interviewing somebody for his thesis, and she comes up to interrupt with this, you know, little detail that could have waited. It didn't need to be have your chips. It didn't need to be brought up then. Just playing devil's advocate. I didn't think this would be my role today
You didn't think, but here we are. Holy shit. We're getting into it.
Yeah, it's only gonna get. I have a
Um,
lot of thoughts later. So, all right, but that's what I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
so Danny intrudes the interview, is what you're calling it. Which is wild. Um, we talk about the incest. And this townsman says that they try to preserve the bloodlines and that the elders must approve mates. So cousins can sometimes mate, but they often need to invite outside people, which we're here. This
It's a
is the whole
big red
movie.
flag.
Josh in the background is seeing kind of going into the scripture room with this older guy. Danny passes by a shack where all the women are cooking. She gets invited in. Would you like to help join us? Um, Danny asks if the woman has seen Simon anywhere because this thing has just happened, and the woman assures her that she was driven to the station. Here's the thing, they're all in on it,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So she seems so caring. Here's another aspect. I'm going to love to hear your opinion on this later, but they're all gearing up for this big, like meat tart party, what have you. Maya passes with her singular tart on the thing, and we all know where this is going because we've seen it in the tapestry. Okay?
But not everyone put two and two together. Just saying, but yes. Now that I've seen it a couple times, that is where it was
All
going.
the air signs saw it from the beginning, okay? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Josh understands more about their sort of great book, which they consider emotional sheet music. And he has very inquisitive questions, which you may think are disrespectful,
Yes,
but
I do.
I think as he's just looking, he's kind of tilting his head around it, saying, like, what does it say? And the person is just like, well, each runic letter stands for one of the 16 affects, which are graded from most holy to most unholy. This one is about grief, which, if we're not trying to tie in the themes of this movie, it's all about fucking grief.
Yeah.
He passes through a page which just looks like a child painted on. Do you remember this?
Yes. Yeah. Paint. It's finger
It's a
paint.
finger.
It's
a finger
like
paint.
there's no rhyme or reason. It's kind of this I don't agree with. This I think is a little kooky that they're putting a lot of stock in this.
He continues, but you can see at the end we have blank pages. This is because the Ruby Radar is a work forever in progress, forever evolving. They have hundreds of these books, and when asked who wrote them, he says, well, the iteration is being written by Ruben, who is the disabled boy that you did not mention in the first half of this movie.
We didn't need it.
We did need it. That's the product of incest we're now learning about. Because,
Yeah.
he draws and they interpret? So, like, what the fuck? So this disabled incest boy draws finger paintings, and then the elders then interpret what is being displayed in their community.
Yes, yeah. There are some holes here. I agree. It's not a full.
Holes. There's a couple black holes in the solar system. We're talking about gaps the size of planets. Girl. He says Ruben is unclouded by normal cognition. It makes him open for the source.
That makes sense. What doesn't make sense is the interpretation. How can they interpret that? That doesn't make any sense.
You're interpreting future happenings.
Yeah.
By just all willy-nilly, whatever the elders are feeling that day.
Yeah,
You're like,
it's a
well,
little culty.
I see what he wrote there. This finger painting, I'm getting murder.
Yeah.
This feels like a lot of religion.
Yeah.
It's up to interpretation, bitch. Well,
True.
so Ruben is unclouded by normal cognition and makes him open for the source. Josh says, "Do you just wait for a baby who is unclouded?" And he says, "No, no, 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 no. What are you talking about? All of the oracles are the product of inbreeding." So he's taking that all in.
Yeah.
And then he says, "Can I take a photo?" Which is disrespectful.
Yes.
I get it. He's trying to understand. He doesn't know what's appropriate and not. He's American.
That's
He's,
that's true.
but also, he is, he has some sort of cognition that is like, something sounds weird.
This scene is so interesting to me because he recognizes something's not right and that something's a little sus. But you know what? I don't want to say too much. I don't want to say too much because in the next scene, when he does what he does, I'm like, is he doing that because he thinks something is wrong and he's trying to figure out what's happening, or is he doing that for his little thesis?
He's
And if
doing it for his
well, then he
thesis.
gets what he gets. I don't know. I don't. I'm not going to shed a single
Well,
tear about that.
yeah, you think I care about him? Absolutely not. I don't give a fuck. I'm ready to see death, baby. Um, so no, I don't give a fuck. But also, we need some sort of disposition of just like taking it as matter of fact. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like your incest son is doing like, whoa,
Yeah.
crazy. Like, maybe I should investigate.
Yeah.
So he asked that question, and of course the elder is like, no, absolutely, you can't take a photo.
He's
And then a
offended.
woman screams in the distance. Let's not forget about that. And let's
That's
not
what's
forget that.
unbelievable to me. Nobody investigates that, and that's a little weird. That's a little weird.
Clock it.
Yeah.
And Mark is seen, just putzing around, catching glimpses of from the woman. He has, his mind set on him, and he's like nervous about it. He's like, oh, God, she's looking at me, or whatever. Stupid ass jester. And supper is ready, of course, which is told, by the kids. At the table are the only people we're focused in on now. So we can see where all their thoughts are landing. Mark doesn't have a single thought besides victim. Josh, this is crazy, but I have to do research. Christian is a mix of I have to find the answers before him. Dani asks if anyone has seen Connie. She is literally the only one on the playing field.
Yeah.
And Mark says that he saw her trying out for the sprinting Olympics earlier. And another man from the table says, I know. So Mark mentions that he sees Connie, but that it felt like she was trying out for the sprinting Olympics. So she was
running away.
Yeah, running for her life. I don't know. We heard screams in the distance. It's all connecting.
Yeah.
This man at the table says her boyfriend, Simon, called the landline and calmed Connie down. She begged our pardon, and I drove her to meet him.
It's very unbelievable.
Something ain't right.
I just want to believe.
Something ain't right.
Something ain't right.
Anyway, Dani still doesn't understand why Simon would leave her. So Christian says, I'm sure it was just a miscommunication. And this is the first time she vocalizes, I could see you possibly doing that. This is when Dani gets the goat.
Things start to take a little turn here.
A little turn. And even if Dani's in the depth, she's still learning. Here we go. Mark at the table, paranoid as fuck, thinking Ulf is going to kill him.
And he is.
It's poignant.
Yeah.
Christian digs into his pubic hair pie and takes a sip of his juice.
That is something I didn't notice, that every other person at that table's juice is yellow, and his is yellow with there's some red in there. There's some menstruation blood mixed on in there. Didn't notice that. I don't know.
It's written on the fucking tapestry.
It's crazy. I don't know how I like make it through. That's
You said
really
earlier the
obvious.
writing's on the wall.
Yeah. It's interesting that nobody else notices it. It's interesting that he doesn't notice it. Like I find it kind of unbelievable. Yeah.
Anyway, Mark suddenly gets tapped on the shoulder by his girlie, and she simply just says, "Hey, you'll come with me? I'll show you." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, like, I'll be
Okay.
back, I guess.
Yeah.
She's just gonna show me."
Yeah.
Stupid ass.
Yeah, he is stupid.
Typical.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like, who knows what's gonna happen? Like,
Yeah.
everything is ambiguous. The focus shifts to Josh at night before bed, deep in thought. He goes to bed with his shoes on. It's highlighted. He wakes up when everyone is asleep. He's got to see what that book's all about. So he quietly sneaks out and starts taking pictures of the pages of the Ruby. Is it Ruby? Rudy.
I said the Ruby Rar. I don't think that's what it's called. That's what I put in my
We're going to call it the Ruby Rar. R. Whatever it is, he
text.
goes
Yeah.
into this sanctuary and he starts taking pictures because why wouldn't you? He wants to see the finger paintings. He wants to know all about it. He wants to tell everyone about it. And then all of a sudden he sees a reflection of somebody in the window because there's a window in front of him. And the camera angle alludes to somebody coming in behind him. So there's somebody inside. It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
He turns around quickly, but the pan of the camera is so fast that if you stop it at the right moment, you see Pele. Yeah, you see Pele
No.
in the room with him. Yeah, and you can go there and you can pause it and you can find it.
Wait. Is Pele the one that does
No.
it? No, he's just
No,
there.
Pele
Okay.
is in the room.
Okay.
Pele, we're gonna get there.
Yeah.
Pele's in the room. Who he thinks is Mark behind him and tells him, "Shh, like we're not supposed to be in here." Turns out to be the Oracle himself, wearing Mark's face like Leatherface.
Yes.
And his penis on the front. Did you catch that? His motherfucking cock is on his front facing pants. It's taped on. And yeah, put that in the Instagram reel.
I did not notice that at all. Oh my god, that's
Yeah.
so weird. Okay. Okay. I'm starting to back off.
So right before he makes a confused face because he sees that like he's trying to talk to Mark, but like Mark is not Mark.
Yeah.
Fuck. He gets struck with that mallet on the top of his head and twitches
Hard.
on the floor.
Yeah.
And then we get a glimpse of motherfucking Leatherface, and it's that weird ass little boy, the incest little boy, with our jester's face on his face.
Mm. Not sad to see the jester gone. I can't believe the penis thing. I'm gonna have to go back and look at that. Wait, are we sure that it's the Oracle that's wearing his face? I thought I
It's
saw
the Oracle with the
napping.
weird ass lip and the weird ass eye.
I thought I saw him napping in the background with this maybe I need to
You
go back and look
would.
at it. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I didn't notice the penis, so who's to know what I noticed? But
You don't notice a penis, and I do. And that's because you hate
It's
men.
because I hate men.
And it's because I kind of like them.
One day you'll get to my point. We all will. And then what will we do? That's his story.
Join a cult.
Today.
We wake up. It's a new day. It's breakfast time. Dani is wondering if Mark is still off with that girl. Pele says probably. And she inquires about Josh. Christian's like, I'm not too worried about it. Like, he's around. one of the elders then announces to the table that the ruby raider, that's how you say it, went missing from the temple and kindly asks that whoever took it should return it to its original place. Don't worry, it's going to be unguarded and unwatched. You just put it back where it needs to go and we'll call it a day. The fuck out of here. So after breakfast, they turn to Dani and Christian. They ask about Josh and Mark because they're missing, clearly. Christian tells them what they know. And they're both quite honest, which is good.
Yeah.
But also, Christian takes the lead to get into their good graces and makes a little stand against them, saying, "Oh, we're not friends with them, and or any collaborators or anything.
Yes.
We would be so embarrassed to be connected to them in any way, shape, or form." Very political.
Very, very brown nosy to these people that you've just met. Like, why are you're turning on the person that you live with? One of your best friends? It's very weird, Christian. Mm-hmm.
Sheesh. So the elders, he ushers Dani to go with the women for the day's activity and tells Christian that Siv wants to see him in her house. So all the girls, here's where we get into it. So they depart, girls versus boys, yada yada. We're in the thick of it. All the girls are given a little mixture of a fun in a glass because they got to compete in the Mayflower Parade, which, look in her eyes, is a battle who can be the last woman standing in this drug-induced version of musical chairs merry-go-round dancing competition. So now we're getting competitive. Now it's getting a little serious. The tea they're drinking seems to be the version of mushrooms they had in the beginning of the movie. Yeah. So we're getting it seems like stronger. We're getting turnt upon turnt. Here we go. The music begins. And around we go.
I want to play. I want to be part of this.
We want to go. Dani gets pulled in one direction in the shape of a circle. Yeah. But we cut to Christian. He's inside Siv's house, staring at the art on the wall, bare, engulfed in flames. Christian sits and begins to proceed throwing his friends under the bus. But she definitely does not care because she asks how he feels about Maya. He says, "How do I feel about her?" She's like, "You have been approved to mate with her. You're an ideal astrological match. She's fixed her hopes on you." He's basically like, I think I ate one of her pubic hairs. Steve says, "Probably right." No biggie. Like, we do this.
That sounds about
right.
Like
it's a thing.
Yeah.
So he leaves the house and then he goes to watch the parade that Dani's in. Dani seems to be enjoying herself quite a bit. She's, like others run into each other and drop out of the competition. She's just like,
yeah.
She's fucking high as fuck. She accidentally bumps into someone who vomits and drops out as well. They get down to 8. They're spinning around the fucking thing. Dani sees Christian, who's the only one not waving, because they're doing this.
Fuck him. I know he's going through something, but fuck him. Now I'm not on his side.
He's just sitting there like a fucking weepy willow, right, in the crowd. Everybody else, their hands jiggling like
Pele.
We're on drugs. Yeah. Okay?
Pele's
it's moving. The movement is wild. They go again, and one girl goes up to Christian and says, let me give you some of the good stuff, basically.
Yeah.
And she's like, "It's spring water with special properties." And he asks, what it does. And she says, It breaks down your defenses and opens you for the influence. He's like, no, I think I'm worried I'm going to have a bad trip. Like, he's
That's
not
not
down with
good.
it.
Yeah.
But reluctantly, he drinks it after seeing, like, Maya across, who's, let's mind you, not looking at him
Yeah.
at this moment. But he's just like, I guess I gotta do something because this is who he is even from the beginning. He can't make a decision. He doesn't have any direction. He doesn't know what to do. He's just like, okay, I guess I'll do it. Anyway, Dani is seen experiencing a little panic and anxiety as she's going through the May Queen dance, but she's smiling through it. She's a little bit like, like I can do this, but also like, but I'm a little scared about it. And this does feel like her journey throughout her grief. Lo and behold, the final girls drop, and Dani wins May Queen. Put your crowns on. Everyone crowds around her and congratulates her by placing her flower crown on. They all immediately get into a group picture and push her over to the dinner table, all while, like, she's in this big group. They're all, like, ushering her
She gets
over.
kissed by Pele. Don't gloss over that little detail.
Well, let me say this first. All while she is still seeing glimpses of her parents in the crowd
Yeah,
around her.
Yeah.
And then Pele's little scallywagon ass comes right up to her and kisses her like, this is some Beauty and the Beast type shit right here. This is how I'm feeling. Don't you dare.
I thought it was really sweet and just like really celebratory. He like gives her a really genuine kiss and it's like, wow, May Queen. You know whose ass is not around? Christian. Didn't pat her on the back. Didn't give her a
I'm not even
not a
thinking
fuck
about
you, not
Christian
a
at
nothing.
all.
I thought that was crazy.
You
Nothing.
think I could give a fuck about Christian? And I don't want Pele around her either. What I want from her is singular. I want her to delete, delete, delete. I want her to be a powerful, empowered woman
She's
all on
miles
her
away from
own.
that. She's got a lot of
And
healing
it's
to do. Give her a
different.
Pele. Give her a Pele. Pele is a sweet,
I
genuine
don't want a
queen soul.
Pele. I don't need some weird ass fucking with the white on embroidered. Get out of here. Okay? We don't need this. I don't think we need this for Dani.
I think Dani. Hold on.
You seem to do, and I seem to don't, and that is quite okay. So they literally place her on a pedestal. They pull her up. It's feeling like the Last Supper, for sure. I mean, let's be real. It's a long ass table. They sit when Dani sits. This is also important. And Christian arrives late to his seat. He's stumbling over. He doesn't know where to go. He's on drugs. Dani sits in the sort of like garden chair, and the leaves move with her. She's kind of like unsure about eating her food at first, but all the others follow after her. She like cuts in, they all start cutting in. This is the being held they were alluding to. She sees Christian feeling uneasy at the table, and then we all give a toast to Dani, of course. And the girl next to her says, "You're family now, like sisters."
That is a little manipulative. The way you just said that. I didn't think that in the moment, but that was weird.
Do you feel it yet?
That
We
seems a
are
little soft.
family now, like sisters. Holds her hand. It's a little weird.
It was a little weird.
Maya gets up from her seat, signals to Christian, "You and me, baby boo."
Mm-hmm. It's time.
And he's kind of slightly hesitant, but he's under the spell. We know this. And also Dani sees what's happening. Like it's all very clear.
Yes.
She's just like she's watching
Watching all of this
Maya go off. She's watching him look at her. Look at like it's a whole thing. Sieve then tells the table it's tradition for the May Queen to bless the crops and livestock. So they get her a little wooden carriage and not I mean it's the truth, but not before she asks if Christian could come with her. She is denied. She has to go alone.
The queen must ride alone. Love
The
that.
queen. I mean, but also, is it not for her journey?
Yes, I agree.
Let's
Well,
be
but
real.
okay, but this is my question. Here's my question. So, did she actually win May Queen, or did they let her win because they wanted to be able to pull Christian away without her? You know what I mean?
Oh, they let her win because it was Pele's oracle vision all along.
So they let her win. She didn't actually win.
How sad do you feel?
Very. That sucks. It's fucking lame.
She's going, to get her
Yes.
her livestock
Yeah.
prayer
Rest.
on. We get a little procession over to the field, some seeds in the ground with some fucking meat on top and some eggs crushed and some blow it over with the ground. Meanwhile, Christian is being pulled to follow Maya by flower petals being laid out in front of him, what a flower girl would do during a wedding. And Dani's singing in the procession while Christian gets prepared in his garb to go bang it out with Maya. The elders give a little whiff of probably some more drugs mixed with boner juice for his vitality, apparently. Orville Peck meets him at the door, lets him into the goddess den. More naked women than he's probably seen in all of his lifetime. We get Maya, who's laying on the floor in a bed of flowers. Maya has clearly been practicing her stripper signals.
Yes.
She does.
So ready.
And then we get a full disrobed Christian, full peen out.
Respect.
But I'll tell you what, I'm going to stand on record here on this pod to say this is the most beautiful choir for orgasming.
I will say, I think it is incredible that he's able to maintain his heart on. And I know there's drugs and all the things and whatever, but through all the naked bodies, through the chanting, through the woman coming down and like holding his face, the woman coming back behind him and pushing his thrusts, it is unbelievable that he's able to maintain an erection.
He must be an air sign.
Or he's on drugs. Maybe both. Probably the drugs though.
It's hard knowing where his brain is amongst it all, but he does a lot of really good acting too, being under the influence but also going into the scene.
Yeah.
And also it's, to me, very beautiful. This is beyond Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
This is epic next level. This is inertia. This is something otherworldly, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Dani comes strolling back on the wagon, is told to go to Sieve's house for a blessing, but she wants to go to where the moaning is. And she gets a little pouty again, only because she knows what comes next, in my mind.
Yeah.
She knows. She looks directly into that keyhole and finds her boyfriend laying pipe on that redhead. And he's singing with her.
Is he?
He's doing the, as they're doing the,
Well, I don't know if that's
It's
singing. That's
we're
that's that's
harmonizing.
that's a harmonized moaning. But is it singing? I don't know.
We're harmonizing. He's feeling it. He's understanding what's around him and he's adapting, which is what he didn't do with her.
That's true.
Okay?
Yeah.
He cares a little bit about what's happening here, about making a baby, apparently,
Yeah.
which she's ready. She's ready to rock herself to be like, I feel it. I'm feeling it. I feel the baby inside me. Yeah.
That's exactly
Did that get you?
she said.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Clearly, Dani goes outside and pukes, and the girls swarm around her, taking her pain as their own. They whisk her away. They cradle her as she's hyperventilating. She's trying to crawl away, but they breathe with her. This is the sisterhood?
Yes. I like
With
that.
a question mark. For me, a
Yeah.
question mark.
I thought
Yeah.
this was like the most. I think this is like one of the most beautiful scenes of all time. I think it's really. I think it's.
It's manipulation.
I think it's genuine. I think they.
Mm.
I think they see her pain, and they're trying to help absorb it.
And they're capitalizing
In what way? What are they capitalizing on?
on her pain. They want another family member so that they don't have to bear the brunt of whatever the fuck that comes next.
Maybe nothing comes. Maybe they do this every 90 years, and other than that, they're a perfect, happy, cool community. Know what I mean? We don't know anything. And for somebody like her who has been so isolated, so alone, even when she had a family, it was very clear she was isolated. She was still clinging to this loser boyfriend. She had nobody. These girls scoop her up. They sit with her in her pain and they absorb it, and I think it's special. I think it's wonderful. I don't think it's manipulative. I really don't. I don't think they're trying to do anything other than they want her to join their party and maybe marry Pele. And I think
And
that's good too.
let me just say, I feel like it's laced with special, but I don't think, just like Christian in the beginning, I don't feel like it is in her best interest. It is not for her. Isn't It's not because they
What do you
care
think
about
she
her or
should do?
because they
Go back
love her.
home?
I think it is because they care about their commune, and it's very selfish. It's the self-righteousness is coming from a different place, and I feel like it's throughout the movie it's disguised, whether who is giving it to Dani, it's always disguised as something different, but it's not for her. It's not because they care about her. It's not because they love her. It's because they want to do this thing because it will help them. I feel like it's very self-serving, and I don't know how else to see beyond that. And I
Hmm.
hear what you're saying at the same time, and I fully believe what you're saying, and I get it. I just have a hard time believing it.
I think your opinion is the popular opinion. Hence, this is a horror movie, and it's presented to us in a way that it is a horror movie, a really complex, beyond layered,
The
beyond that
worst
you have to
one for
look under the
us.
hood to figure out that maybe they are manipulated. I'm choosing not to see it that way. I'm choosing very, very purposely to see it in a totally different way, and I'm happy with that.
Um, Christian runs out with the understanding of what he's just done. He runs and finds a foot buried in the ground casually.
Yeah.
He runs into a shed where he finds Simon tied up to the roof with flower cords. He's adorned with flowers for eyes, and his whole back has been split the fuck open, broken rib cage revealing his lungs breathing on their own.
Are they breathing?
They're they're like expanding and
But he's
going
not
in.
alive. He is dead.
No.
Yeah. Okay. I was confused by that because I thought I remembered the lungs moving, but then Christian gets underneath him to like look at, which is really, you should just run out. What are you doing? What are you doing?
You know me, I love to see it all.
Hmm.
I wanted to see this. He sits up only to, be blown in the face with more drugs in the face by Adi. Then we get to the next scene, and he's basically a newborn baby. Ula, yeah, clock her name, wakes Christian up so lovingly, you know? You can't speak, you can't move. We're, as an audience, ready for the finale. And I must say, everyone brought out their best fucking looks to the end of this film. They said, we're not in white anymore. We're in glistening. We're in, we're doing two-toned. We're doing embroidered, but on a fucking couture level. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Period. We gather to give thanks to our treasured son. This is what Steve says. Dani is engulfed in flowers on the stage. Okay? We can only see her little cherub face, just with the crowns and the. It's a fucking full pyramid of flowers. As an offering to our Father, this is what Steve says. Today, we will surrender 9 human lives. For every new blood sacrificed, we will dedicate one of our own. 4 from Hardga, and 1 to be chosen by the Queen. 9 total, and to be reborn into the great cycle. 2 of ours have already dedicated and have volunteered. Ingmar and Ulf, you've been brought things and sacrifice and will be joined in harmony with everything. And Pele, who brought new blood and a new May Queen, will be honored for your unclouded intuition. Can we pause there for a second and talk about this, bitch?
What? Pele?
Pele, who brought new blood, the 4 of the 9 that we're sacrificing, and the May Queen, and will be honored for your unclouded intuition. He was the motherfucking inbred when he was younger as the Oracle doing the fucking shit, writing the book.
No.
Girl, it's in the scripture.
No. I didn't pick up on that. We sure?
Can we please look at the facts? And this is quoted from Steve.
He's not disfigured. I thought it was like somebody who's like.
And what? Do all incest
Well, and his
people
parents
have
burned
to
up in a
be?
fire, and he's an orphan, and he came to the no. So yeah, that totally debunks your theory just now. I just debunked it. He was an orphan.
Steve literally said his unclouded intuition.
Well, that's just is a figure of speech. Doesn't mean he's an oracle. I will say.
I think he's been an oracle all along, and he's been setting up Dani and this whole fucking crew for a long time.
I think he has been setting up the crew.
He's been painting this since he was a child.
But here's the thing.
Finger painting.
I don't think he's an oracle. I think you're reading way too much into that. I think that was just an adjective they used, that he was unclouded. But I do think he has been obviously plotting this whole thing for a long time, because I've thought a lot about this. He's this like gentle, kind spirit, right? And he wouldn't.
I'm going to jump off a cliff. I'm swan diving. I'm cannonballing. How about that? I'm not doing a swan or a pencil. I'm doing a cannonball. And what happens then when my ass blows out from the rock? What then?
Look, okay. Just hear out. Okay. In my opinion, Pele is a really is a
Fuck.
genuine soul, and he's kind, and he has surrounded himself with these fools. These three but and purposely he has chosen these three men because they are um self-absorbed pieces of garbage that have nothing to offer the world, and they won't be missed. And that was harsh, but it's a harsh world. And Dani was just thrown in as like a little extra fun bag of like, you know well, I don't know why I put it that way, but I she's just like a bonus. She's just a bonus that ended up working out. I don't think she was in the plan ever. I think it just like ended up working out really well for Pele because he's obviously in love with her. Now he's gonna marry her. They're gonna have babies. It's gonna be cool.
I think you're delusional.
I don't know, maybe.
Um, she says, Steve, two of ours have already dedicated and two have volunteered. Ingmar and Ulf. You've brought things and sacrifice and will be joined in harmony with everything. And Pele, who brought new blood, we talked about this already.
Yeah.
And a new May Queen will be honored for your unclouded intuition. She says, Tourbillon is selected from the bingo drawing where they slot little.
Mm-hmm.
What is this letter? Tourbillon is
Very
this
Hunger
man.
Games. It's very interesting there.
And Christian Hughes, who is basically in a wheelchair up there, can't move. We patiently await your verdict for the queen, for the May Queen. And there's a long stare that just focuses on. She's a guppy. And then we get a shot of Christian being fitted into the bear costume. And then we get all the, people sacrificing themselves. They take a little bit under their tongue. Take from the yew tree. Feel no fear.
That was fucked up. He says, yeah, because everybody's in the little tree of trust there. They're in the triangle,
Mm-hmm.
and the two people that volunteered are given the little pills to take away their pain. But then
Mm-hmm.
when the fucking fire comes, they're burned. They feel pain. They feel the fear.
They're
They didn't do anything.
Crispin.
They're very crispy. That was bullshit. Everybody burns up in pain. They should have just killed them
And
beforehand. That was fucked.
and also there was four given, four sacrificed, and one that the May Queen chose, which was
Christian.
Christian as the bear. And then it cuts to Dani just like, sobbing. And then they're chanting. And there's Maya with her red lip. She's feeling cunt. And the whole place burns. It's a whole cathartic moment at the end.
Yeah, the crying to a smile because she realized that she's cut off her toxic ties. So
Let's do our rating.
okay. I give this film 0 Stoli Dolies. I don't need a drop of liquor to enjoy this film. I loved it. I could have rewatched it again and again, which is never the case. I usually, by the end of these, I hate these fucking movies and I never want to watch them again. And I'm so over it. And I didn't feel that way with this. I could have watched it dozens of times more because there's so many little things you'll notice, so many Easter eggs. It's an onion, lots of layers here. And I enjoyed it. And I don't know who's. I'm always on Dani's side. Always on Dani's side. But I think you can make a case to be on anybody's side except for Mark. Fuck Mark. Beyond that, I think it was just a very complex, enjoyable movie.
I agree. I feel like I would need no Stoli Dolies to experience the film. It makes you think. This is my favorite kind of movie, is the one that makes you think afterwards, which is why I could watch it at 0 and why it is potentially fun at 1 and detrimental at 2. And I'll stand by that. The music I'm living for.
Yeah.
The scenes unreal, the imagery amazing, the shots phenomenal, and I think there is a lot of themes within this that it's telling that you will be talking a lot about this with your people, whoever they are.
Yeah.
Which is why we talked a lot about it. Close it out,
All
Mama.
right. Thank you everybody so much for rejoining us. We love talking to you guys. Until next time, if somebody invites you to Sweden for a festival, ask some questions.
Unlike Christian, I finished my pie with the pubes all in
You're a
it.
real one. He invited her. I don't know what the fuck is happening here, but he invited her. She accepts. She is going. Call J.G. Wentworth.
I'm just getting into the headspace.